Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. I don't know. These days are all starting to run together. My routines have been all screwed up. You know, it's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Since we found out that 1017 The Truth had been sold, there's a lot of questions that we all have, that you all have, and I have been seeking answers, as have the rest of our colleagues and coworkers here. And I'll tell you, so from when I leave here at noon, well, yesterday I was here till almost 3 o'clock, which is very unusual for me. That was damn near an 8-hour day, which is odd for me. I am on the phone with, or in a meeting with, or a Zoom call with, or like 3 different text message chains with a dozen or more people trying to figure out how we can maintain what we do at the level in which we do it. And just a little side note on 1017 The Truth, to start a radio station in the middle of a pandemic out of thin air, and a radio station that catered to the African American community was no small feat, and for it to climb to the levels of success that it has in a very, very short period of time. You know, some of these media companies, ladies and gentlemen, are 100 years old. TMJ, which stands for The Milwaukee Journal. They're also our colleagues right across the hall at 6:20 a.m. They have a whole newspaper and a television station associated with that brand. That brand goes back prior to World War II. We here are very new. And so for us to have reached the people that we have reached and to have made the difference that we have made in such a short period of time, quite honestly, is remarkable. I have worked for other established and non-established media companies that have not seen anything even remotely close to the growth. And some of the growth was because it was new and because the time in which this endeavor was initiated, we were really glued to our devices and our screens and trying to find out all the information that we could. Remember, we had a whole series of pandemic elections where you got your information essentially from what you viewed on your screens. There was no campaign rallies and going out to campaign offices and going and picking up yard signs. Everybody was quarantined. And so maybe that played some small role in the attention and the eyeballs that we got here on 101.7 The Truth. But, you know, in these last few days, really the last week or so, just reflecting back and looking at all that has been accomplished, the incredible conversations that we have had, even the ones that we disagreed with, that also take place on these airwaves. And I know some people took a lot of those conversations very personal. I might be one of them, but that's the point. Internalize this stuff. Get angry about it. Fundamentally disagree with somebody. Disagree with them a lot. Disagree with them real hard. But then figure out how you can continue to work and coexist with the person that you disagree with. Thank you for all the comments of support that not just I have received, but my colleagues as well. We really appreciate that. I am reasonably comfortable, and I'm never comfortable, but I'm reasonably comfortable. I'm cautiously optimistic, heavy on the caution, that we will, at least in the short term, be able to continue doing what we do best here, and that is provide information and a place. A platform for you to voice your opinions, for you to ask questions, and for you to hopefully get information that helps us better figure out our world. And it is a very complicated world that we live in. I'll probably go through 2 full cell phone batteries a day. You know, you ever be on your phone so long your phone gets hot? I know you iPhone users deal with that because your phones suck. But in the conversations that we have had, I think a lot more clarity has been revealed, and I will make sure to keep you all informed because as we are going through this transition, the most important part of this are the people that choose to spend their time listening to us. Some days, I don't know why you do. I just have to step back. I put on a bonnet during hour 3, and people, you know what? The bonnet does give me superpowers. I think I need to call it the Bonnet Chronicles because I feel the weight and the gravity of the ancestors being channeled through my bonnet. And here's something else that you all don't know about bonnets. Well, some of you know a lot about them because it's your preferred headwear. They're so comfortable. It is the most comfortable thing. Like I wear hats because I'm bald. I ain't got no hair on my head. And, you know, it's a lot of lights in the studio here, and I don't need my head shining and blinding everybody, so I'll wear a hat. That bonnet is just so comfortable. It's like a warm hug on top of your head. I actually do have real things to talk about today. I want to tell you about something that I noticed. Maybe you noticed the same thing. It's also very easy to be distracted and not pay attention to stuff that we probably should have our focus on. You have this race for governor, which we're not even discussing. Typically, especially in, I can't even say typically because these times that we are living in right now are not typical at all. But when you have this many Democrats running and you have a year in which the Democrats can almost do no wrong. Trust me when I tell you they will do some wrong, but they so have the wind at their back. And I say that not because Trump, the Trump thing is starting to get tired. I think most of us have resigned to the fact that we don't know what Trump is going to do. And if you don't know what he's going to do, then you don't know how to prepare for it. And even if you prepare for it, you prepare for this thing that he's doing. Maybe he starts another damn war. We don't have anything to counter it. So we're just going to have to let dude just Trump himself out, because we can't keep fighting battles not knowing when the next one is coming. And he still, until further notice, has support for some of his worst impulses. I say that the Democrats have the wind at their back purely on a policy basis because the things that they were, other than the obvious race and cultural issues with the previous Democratic nominee, who was the vice president of the United States, who was the heir apparent. She was selected to be the vice president because she was supposed to be the next president of the United States. But for some reason, a bunch of Democrats thought it would be a good idea to have a primary with 100 days left. First of all, that's not respecting the progress, or the process, rather. And Democrats need to be institutionalists more than the Republicans are, because Donald Trump has destroyed every institution. At least the Democrats are proceeding with some kind of order. They'll introduce a bill. They'll have a discussion. The bill will come to the floor. There'll be a committee meeting. They're not doing any of that with the Trump administration. And so for Democrats to think that they can abandon order now or even then is problematic. And it's a slow and insidious way in which Trumpism is going to be the Hansa virus that is going to infect Democratic politics. And I got my eyeball on that. Some Democrats are actually looking at how Trump was able to do things and get away with it and think that they got to put that in their playbook. I'm not really too cool with that. I'm not really too cool with it. But here's why I think the Democrats have the wind at their back. Now, remember, the wind can always change direction. And I want to bring this back to the lackluster, boring, milquetoast, lukewarm Democratic primary for governor in Wisconsin, because I don't even know what they're doing. It's the saying that my football coach used to say. It's got a little profanity in it, and I don't know if I can say it on the radio. My phone is unplugged. I'm also stalling because I don't know if I can say that term on the radio. Because if you think about it, X, who could fire us right now? Because we're kind of in this weird limbo where, we're kind of working for two different places. So, can one place fire me and then the other place rehire me? Do I get fired by both? Do you fire me? How does this work?
Well, if you're asking me that question, I always say, go with the controversial take.
The Democrats are playing grab ass.
You worried about saying that?
Yeah, I was worried about saying grab ass. I think I work for a new company. Well, not yet. Soon, I think I work for a new company, and I don't know if the new company allows me to say grab ass.
Grab ass is really,
Now you saying grab ass.
Well, don't
grab my ass.
I mean, you say, literally, you were saying the N-word with ER at the end of it the other week. If you can't say ASS.
Wait, I was saying what word the other day with the ER in it? What word?
Oh, nigger. We can say that on there.
That was rude. I didn't expect you to say it.
What? I'm black.
We had a white guy say it, too.
Where?
Oh, he called one day. Oh. I dared him to say it. And then as I was daring him to say it, because I felt him revving up, I was like, say it. I was like, you want to say it. And I felt he was just like, ooh. And when I heard him revving, because, white folks, they need to rev. And sometimes they rev when we make them very angry. They're always on the cusp of saying it. But I was revving up. I was like, yeah, say it. Come on, say it. And I heard him revving. And then right when he was reaching the peak of his revving, he was about to hit a red line. I was like, wait, no, don't say it. And then, nigga, he just, boom, he just hit me with it. And then I think he said it again, because once he let it out, it felt good to him.
Yeah, it's kind of that's their favorite word, honestly.
The Democrats are playing grab ass, and this is what I'm noticing. And I got some comments from Joel Brennan. Joel Brennan, who is the moderate, middle-of-the-road white guy that entered the race to be the moderate, middle-of-the-road white guy, which I totally understand. Because if you got 6 people at the time, maybe 5 people were running, he's probably thinking we need a moderate, middle-of-the-road white guy because, what's life without a moderate, middle-of-the-road white guy? And then he said in an interview in kind of coded language that he doesn't think that Wisconsin is ready for a governor that's not a white man. Okay, so put that in your pocket. We're going to come back to that because I have the article where it goes into a little bit more detail of that. But also, I'm feeling like the African-American community is being totally ignored. I want to do some juxtaposition here, right? So put that in your pocket as well. Why I think the Democrats have the wind at their back and these crop of Democrats. So of the 7 candidates that are in, 3 are just inept. They just can't. It's not for them. You know what I mean? It's not. It ain't their bag to be running for governor. The Democrats have the wind at their back because the things they held against Kamala Harris, other than her gender and her race, economic issues and inflation and forever wars, that worked against her. Now, other things worked against her as well. But those policy issues, those bread and butter issues, those kitchen table issues, they use that against her because, oh, no, Kamala, if you get elected, the inflation is going to go up. Inflation right now is at 4%. It's at a level where it threatened and ended Kamala Harris's campaign. Remember back when everybody was talking about the price of eggs? Oh, eggs are going to go up. I didn't even know that people ate that many eggs. And so the issues that hurt Kamala Harris's campaign, those economic issues, have been exacerbated during the Trump administration. So that's what the Democrats have. I think they lose or they underperform if they just fashion their campaign around, oh my God, Trump is so bad. Oh, and Trump, I hate it. Saying that Trump is bad doesn't make gas cheaper. Saying that Trump is bad does not improve quality of life issues. So that's why the Democrats have the wind at their back. But I still have a feeling they're going to screw that up some kind of way. But I'm noticing this. They're ignoring the black community, but I gotta disclose something. I know, X, you're probably going to get all excited when I tell you this. This is why I don't want to say it, because you're going to get overly excited, and I think you're going to look into it in a way that might be a little premature. I'm stalling today by wanting to plug in my phone, because you see how my phone is unplugged? It means I can't answer the phone when Bob calls. I got a text from Francesca Hong on yesterday. And she said that she was going to be in the African-American community knocking on doors, the black community in Milwaukee. There are black candidates from Milwaukee that aren't knocking on doors and engaging African-American voters in Milwaukee. I've long said she is embarrassing these other candidates. Her policies notwithstanding, that's a whole nother conversation. But on style points, it's not even remotely close, because I was skeptical on the small Asian lady, single mother, restaurant worker, works in the state capitol and also works in a restaurant, has a single baby, single mother, no daddy, right? I was like, she's a gimmick.
She's the real deal. That's why she's the only one that you've interviewed.
No, she ain't. She ain't the real deal. She ain't the real deal until I know what her policies are. She's not the real deal until there's measurable improvement in her district, in the state, in the nation by something that she didn't. She ain't the real deal yet. She's winning on style points, but I will say this, on style points, she won me over. So when you watch a debate, because debates suck, they're boring. I went to the first. They had all 7 candidates on stage. You know what they did? They're like, oh, my God, I agree with you. Well, I agree with you, too. Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. The only thing that they didn't have in common were their names. Even when she was on the stage, she was being overly diplomatic and just they were all agreeing with each other. It's ridiculous. But on style points, because debates, President Kennedy arguably won the presidency in 1960 because during the first televised presidential debate in history, Nixon looked ugly. He was sweating. He looked all old and fat, and Kennedy looked all debonair and handsome. Kennedy looks like, well, he doesn't look good anymore because he's been dead for 60 years, but he looked like he would take your wife. Well, I want to make sure that Americans can afford everything they need to be successful. He just looked, and Nixon looked like the fat bastard. He's dead too. Like, what are they going to do? Come after me? Style points. So style points help in a very crowded primary. Let me take a break. Come back. I'm going to dig into what Joel Brennan said about Wisconsin not being ready for a governor that's not a white man. Aren't y'all sick of white men yet? I am. I've been tired of them. No offense to the white, I got my white guys that are cool, but other than them, I've had my fill because they just do too much or do too little or do it wrong or are racist or are misguided or are ignorant or are mediocre but loyal to whiteness. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's nauseating. Can I hear from white men? Aren't y'all tired of each other? Because when they call my show, it's, "Hi, Sherwin. Hey, white guy here." I'm like, "Oh, you don't say." Oh, we would have never figured that out. All right, let's take a break. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number, just in case you need it for stuff, 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Oh, the YouTube question of the day. This one got a little complicated. So there's a story. I know my colleagues covered it this morning, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to touch it. I think they covered it thoroughly. Do y'all want us to talk about the same thing? So if there's something that's happening, something happens in the city of Milwaukee, I don't know, something that 9 out of 10 people are talking about, and let's say the morning show discusses it, do you want to hear me talk about it too, or do you get your fill? I'm also assuming that all of the people that listen to the morning show listen to my show. There's some people that listen to the morning show that hate my guts, and they say so, which is fine. I don't need everybody to love my guts.
You're so likable.
No, I'm not. I'm an acquired taste, but
really?
But, oh yeah, I'm a fine after dinner port wine. You got to be a connoisseur. You also got to be not dumb. You don't have to be super smart. You have to be not dumb or know that you don't know everything. I hope that makes sense. Because you know who gets really mad at me, who I argue with, and people that want to have real stupid debates with me, and a lot of times it's in person, are dumb people. Because I say stuff that they've never heard of before. It's just foreign to them. And some of it is the messenger, because if you hear something that rocks your world and you never knew that concept existed, or you never knew that thing happened in history, and it still impacts people to this day, and you hear that from me for the first time, people just don't believe it. They just, "Why would you make that up, Sherwin? What you mean Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, the Emancipation Proclamation?" Nuh-uh. Black people were never slaves. They just like to work for free. Now, there's people that are that dumb. So dumb people, and I can talk about dumb people because they're not listening. I'm not going to say they're not listening because they're dumb. They're dumb because they're not listening. All right, so our YouTube poll. It relates to an MPS janitor that slammed a 14-year-old. So I'm team janitor. I don't even need to know the story. I made a few trips to schools in my professional career, not many. I went back to my high school when I worked for a member of Congress. I was what do you call it? When you have a speaker in a class. That was actually cool because I remember when we were in school and you get a speaker like, oh, cool, some person is coming in to talk to us about stuff that I don't have to pay attention to. But it was an honor to be brought back to my high school to be the speaker in a government class. But I went to did I go to a career fair, a job fair at a middle school? Some teacher invited me. She invited me on LinkedIn, and I said yes only because the teacher was attractive. And they were having different professionals come in and talk to different classes about like what our jobs are. And we're talking to like 5th and 6th graders. 5th and 6th graders don't know what the hell a radio broadcaster is. They didn't care. This was at least 10 years ago. And the only positive feedback I got was, hey, kid raised their hand because call on the kids that had questions. And this kid was like, my grandma listens to you. And for a second, I was like, oh, what does that mean? I was like, oh, no, I was like, thank you. And then they didn't say anything for the rest of the time I was talking to that class. So this 14-year-old kid gets body slammed by a janitor. Again, I'm team janitor. We don't know what that janitor might have dealt with. Like I can't use the offensive language that I want to use, but you guys know exactly what I'm thinking. You guys know exactly what I'm thinking because here's the thing. You feel the same way. What I'm thinking about how some of these kids act and how they disrespect adults, how they disrespect their teachers, their principals, their administrators. That's why I can't teach. I would be fired by 3rd period because I would not let your kids, when I'm there for them, I want to help them succeed. I want them to be able to navigate the world that is going to eat their asses alive. The world is waiting to devour you. It's waiting to swallow you up. The world doesn't care about you. It don't love you and ain't going to take care of you. The world isn't going to make the price of eggs cheaper. And so we want to prepare these babies for a world where they can eat back. You know what I mean? Because the world's got big jaws. And if I'm there sacrificing my time and being disrespected, being talked back to, and not being listened to, and then these kids say something to me that they would say to like one of their parents, lights out. And I hate to say this too, the girls got the biggest mouths. When I worked at South Division many, many years ago, coordinating after-school programs, 9 out of the 10 fights were girls, and they were relentless. They bullied each other. They started rumors about one another. They destroyed each other's reputations. I was afraid of them, and I was like, oh, when y'all grow up, y'all are going to be social media influencers, but the girls are the worst ones. Because some girls, some of them, I think half of women are lesbians. I think so. I really think, whichever, that's fine. Oh, no, that's cool. That's, X says bisexual. I say, nah, I don't. Bisexual is just a way in which unwanted people double their odds. Whoops, did I say that out loud? And they still, there was a post somebody said like, oh, I'm a bisexual woman and I still can't find anybody to date. And the first comment was, oh, you're bisexual. Maybe you should be by yourself. And that was really funny, I thought. It's hilarious. So this 14-year-old gets slammed and then by the janitor. Why are you messing with a janitor anyway? Janitors have weapons. And the janitor slammed the 14-year-old. Now the janitor's in trouble. These kids are so ruthless and there's no consequences for anything that they do. My generation used to be afraid of the threat. There's this one thing that my mother said to me, and I believed her. And I didn't even know what she meant, like what, but I took her serious because I would take adults serious. We all did because we just respected them, you know? It was a default setting. My mother was like, yeah, I'm going to send you away. She's like, I can't deal with you anymore. I'm just going to send you. I was like, no, don't send me away. Away might have just been to my aunt's house. You know, but I was afraid that it's like, I'm just going to send you off somewhere. It's going to send you to an orphanage. send you to where they send the bad kids. So our YouTube question of the day, who's to blame for these kids' poor behavior? And it was tough to put up categories because there's so many different ways or avenues to blame for a kid's poor behavior. So if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, who is to blame for a child's poor behavior? Parents? Because sometimes the parents are really bad role models. And in most cases, it's parent one. Peer pressure. I know some of the stupid stuff I did is because we were just, me and my friends were just going to do stupid stuff. Somebody came up with a really stupid idea and somebody else would be like, yeah, I'll agree to that. And next thing you know, we're throwing tomatoes at houses. We put up the category of music/video games because that's always mentioned whenever we have a conversation about poor behavior from young people. So that's a category, but also kind of a catch-all category. We were going to put other, but other could include damn near anything under the sun. And I didn't want the other category to outpace some of the other specific categories. So we put environment. Sometimes there's just environments that are conducive for kids to act unruly. If a parent or a guardian, whomever, is working all the time or they're not home, or if the parent is, incapacitated because they're on alcohol or drugs, or, also the people that they're hanging out with. It could be other family members that are a bad influence. If a young person sees all of their uncles and their aunts are in jail or on probation, if a child can identify an ankle monitor by the time they're 2 or 3 years old, sometimes these environments that these children are brought up in, which most of us never even think about. We don't think about these young people that do some of the worst kinds of behaviors. They're just unloved and unwanted kids. Sometimes the parents kick them out of the house. They're living with their friends' houses. There's no supervision. There's no adult. There's no, person to mentor and guide these kids. And you can't leave young people to their own devices. They'll do all sorts of stuff. So I'm curious as to what you guys think. Who is to blame for a child's poor behavior? And so this is referencing a story. Maybe I'll get to it since I teased it so much, of a janitor at NPS slammed a kid. There was also a story from last week where I think a teacher also slapped a kid. Again, I'm team teacher. Because if these kids fight each other, and they do, because we have all of the video footage and the cell phone camera recordings of kids fighting each other, sometimes these kids think oh, this is how I deal with someone that I don't like or someone that I disagree with. I fight them. Okay, fight an adult. Get your little ass kicked. And maybe when you get your little ass kicked, you're ooh, maybe I should consider working it out another way. Maybe we should consider mediation. Maybe we should talk it out. I think Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan so you get punched in the face. It's not my kid I'm punching in the face. If a kid is threatening me, and what if the kid swings on me? What am I supposed to do? I'm only going to duck for so long. I got to go on offense. I can't. And how does that look? I'm over here teaching at, let's say I'm at Bayview High School. I'm a teacher. What would I teach? Social studies or something at Bayview. And this kid is screw you, Mr. Hughes. Yo, mama. Now, I'll get up from the desk. Excuse me, what did you say? You heard me, Fatty McFatterson, or whatever they'd call me. Probably something offensive. And now the kid is standing up, got up from his desk, and now we both facing off. We walking toward each other. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do what we do. Throw my hands up. I'm like, hey, what's up? What you trying to do, dog? And they swing. Whoosh. I miss. Whoosh. They swing again. I duck. Whoosh. They swing a slow, nasty haymaker. I see my shot. Bip, right on the chin. Now the kid is knocked out on the floor. Who's to blame? And then the principal comes in. Mr. Hughes, what have you done? I was like, hey, they call me Fatty McFatterson. What am I supposed to do? That's what this kid always does. They call everybody Fatty McFatterson. Mr. Hughes, you're going to be under arrest. And now I got to run from the police. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Literally one call, that's all.
I made one call, and that's all, worry-free.
One call, that's all. It worked.
Just one call and that's all.
They will do what they say they're going to do. One call and that's all.
One call, that's all means security.
It's literally one call, that's all.
It's a phrase we'll never forget.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this. Nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Weekdays from 4 to 6. Live on YouTube and broadcasting on 1017 The Truth. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the Milwaukee Courier, Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Joel Brennan denied reporting last week that he feels being white is an advantage in a state that has never had a non-white man as governor. But the Milwaukee area native remarked on a podcast just days before that he does feel the state is not ready for a non-white man as governor. And so this probably is offensive to some. On its face, yeah, I guess it is offensive, but take it from a white dude. If he thinks that Wisconsin is not ready for a non-white man as governor, I think that he would know. We also forget, because if you live in Milwaukee, you're surrounded by non-white people. Sometimes, so let's say I don't go to the 3rd Street Market Hall. Even when I am here, I get here so early. I guess the first person I do see in the morning is a white fella, Steve Scafidi, and I don't even know what time his show is on. I think his show starts at 10. I get here at 7, and Steve has already got his face in his laptop, preparing his show. Steve's a very nice guy. Very nice guy. I say good morning to him. He says good morning to me. And then we disappear into our neutral corners of the market hall. But let's say I don't come here. I kind of have to sometimes go out of my way to see white people. If I'm hanging out with my friends and my family, yeah, I got white friends, but I don't hang out with them all the time. But if you're in Milwaukee, there's a lot of diversity here, and you would think that the diversity that is here would be better respected, especially because we are a heavy Democratic voting city. And black people have a plurality. So we're not the majority here, but there's more black people in the city of Milwaukee than not. We're like 38% white folks, or I don't care, 32 or whatever. They're dwindling. And then you add Latinos and Asians and biracial people and triracial people and all the other things. So that makes up a majority of the population of Milwaukee. And so you would think that these candidates would be more respectful of the African-American vote, especially in a Democratic primary, because the African-American vote share, especially coming out of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County, if one candidate puts together an agenda that makes sense, that can assist some of the things that we talk about, some of the problems and the violence, the poverty, the low levels of home ownership, whatever it is, if one of the candidates running says, hey, African-Americans, when you're much more involved in the economy, like everybody does better, everything does better, the state does better. So let's put together some ideas and policies based on what you as African-American citizens and residents want to see. They're not doing any of that. And I also believe that that is another insidious part of the Donald Trump agenda. This anti-DEI stuff is more than just Trump prioritizing white men. I read some stuff to you guys a couple of weeks ago where black women have lost like 300,000 jobs and white men have gained like 400 or 500,000 jobs or something like that. It's actually now tangible. You can see it in the numbers of even private businesses that are laying off and taking out whatever they're considering DEI. All that George Floyd stuff is gone. But we predicted it would be. All the George Floyd stuff is gone, including the sale of 1017 The Truth. Let that sink in. But I'm not shocked by that, because white folks have a shelf life for sympathy. And so you would think that, these Democratic candidates that are running in a very crowded primary, one of them would need the advantage, and the advantage is the African-American vote. But they're not doing as much, including the candidates that are from Milwaukee. And I see how this thing is going, right? You have a black candidate whose base is in Milwaukee because that's where they're from, that's where they're connected, that's where they performed well before, that's where they originally got elected. But what they do is this: they go out state and they song and dance for white folks who might be economically disadvantaged, white folks who haven't done well during the Trump era, and they're trying to cater to these outstate white folks that don't want to vote for somebody black, even if they are a Democrat. And that's the thing about whiteness. It's so polite. It is designed to be genteel. It's designed to be it's kind, especially in Wisconsin. If white voters that are likely to vote for a Democrat because they're not happy with Trump, they're not happy with the economy, they're not happy with AI data centers or whatever, if given the choice, let's be realistic now, let's not get in our feelings about this. If a white voter who lives in Mauston, Wisconsin, or Schwabenau, or somewhere in Marathon County, maybe they live near Spooner, or they live near Rice Lake, or they're just outside of Eau Claire, and if all the Democratic candidates are essentially the same on the issues, wouldn't they just prefer to vote for someone that looks like them? I know black folks do. If all things are equal, give me the black candidate, because at least I can have a conversation with them about things that uniquely impact the black community without having to explain it. Just like women and women candidates. Women can have conversations, especially political ones, without having to explain all the ways in which women are negatively impacted, right? Women, remember the Me Too movement and pay disparities, and, women are much more likely to be, victims of things that men do, all the stuff, right? Women can have those conversations amongst one another without having to define it. When it comes to a man, if a woman says, as a woman, I face, all these obstacles, and then what'll the man say? Well, not the women that I know, I don't do any of those things you just mentioned. Shut up. Just like if I want to have a conversation about how race and just the casual cavalier attitude that some white folks have about race and racism, because it's not their thing. White people don't really live in a world in which they're discriminated against, but I promise you this, if they are discriminated against, they let the world know, oh my God, I didn't get the job because of, they're worse than us. It's like a man that approaches a woman, like we get used to being rejected. We just get used to it, right? You just let it roll off your shoulders. If a woman approaches a man and she gets rejected, she sounds like the white guy that got passed up for the job. But if all things are considered equal, and they are, because these candidates, other than the small Asian woman, she's Korean, by the way. Not all Asians are the same. I would like to be able to identify Asians by nationality, because they all look different. I hope this doesn't sound racist, because you know what we used to call all of them back in the day? Now, this is racist. We just all said they were Chinese, which is stupid. And I admit that back in the day, the 80s were wild. I'm kind of glad they don't exist anymore, because, oh, man, you still had racist cartoons that were on Saturday morning. But I'd like to be able to identify the Asians. You want to say that on the microphone? Come on, get some of this racism, Xavier. Come on, get some. Come on. No. Your favorite candidate is the Asian lady. I didn't think she was Korean. I thought she was Hmong. I love the Hmong very much. They live right next to her. The Hmong are ghetto. And they won't even deny it. They live right next to it. They're very quiet unless they have chickens. They'll have a chicken for that ass. They'll... I don't know if I can get canceled right now because I'm in limbo. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. All right, why don't we do this? I want to talk about Joel Brennan's comments, and I'm not mad at it because this is a white state. This is white people land. You ever been up north? It's beautiful. It's different now because Trump has emboldened them. They didn't used to be bold. I remember when I took my first trip up to Vilas County, which is it's pristine. Even the air smells better. Them big old tall pine trees. You know what it looks like? It looks like rural Mississippi. It does. Like the soil is real sandy, and you got those big old tall pine trees. It's nothing but woods. Oh, it's beautiful up there. And I went into this bar called Sharky's. It's in Minocqua. Just a tourist trap, nothing but white folks. And I was a little nervous. I was young. I was in my 20s, early 20s. And I said to the bartender, I said, how y'all feel about black folks up here? Because I'm curious. I want to know if I'm in a hostile environment. And he said, how do we feel about the blacks? Well, we don't see many of them. That's for sure. He had that heavy Wisconsin accent. By the way, the worst, most ignorant accent in the country. If somebody hears me talking, they say, oh, Sherwin, you sound like you're from Wisconsin. I tear up. Because that's a horrible thing to say. So I'm talking to this bartender at Sharky's. I said, how y'all feel about black folk up here? Well, it's not you we don't like. We ain't got no problem with the blacks. No. You know who we don't like? I'm like, do tell, Gerald. The Indians. They beef with Native Americans because Native Americans get to spearfish, and they take a lot of fish out of the lakes. But remember, those are the Native American lakes. The lakes is named, like there's a lake called Lac de Flambeau, which is the name on the reservation. If a Native American wants to use dynamite to fish, they should be able to do that because that's their lake. So, no, it's the Indians we don't like. Could you imagine that? I had no idea that white folks and Native Americans, they still beefing over like 200 years. All right, let me take a break, come back, talk to Alan on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
Another function of white supremacy, don't teach black people stuff, because if you give us a little bit of knowledge, we'll invent something totally new. That's why it was illegal to teach slaves to read, because if we could read, then we could write. And if we could write, we could communicate. And if we could communicate, we could plan. And if we could plan, we could strategize. And if we can plan and write and read and communicate and strategize, we could overthrow white supremacy, because they've always known how fragile it is.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Walk in for a suit, walk out with two. It's buy one, get one half off throughout May at Nicobani's. Suits, blazers, hats, jeans, and more. Everything you need from a hands-on team that styles you from head to toe. Find a suit, add shoes for half the price. Land a perfect two-piece set? Now add a vest for 50% less. Prom, graduation, galas, whatever's on your calendar, now's the time to stop in to Nicobani's. Second floor at Mayfair Mall across from AMC. Buy one, get one half off throughout May at Nicobani's. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Reginald Jones says, hats off to the among us. Lovely vegetables, hands down. Oh, they'll rock a farmer's market. And it's pronounced Hmong, not Hmong. Actually, it's Hmong. Hmong, you gotta say it right. I speak a little Hmong. I dated a Hmong girl once. Her name was La.
Let's hear a little bit.
No. Her family didn't like me because they're racist. They want either their kids to marry another Hmong. Their weddings and their funerals are something else. Their funerals last a week. If a Hmong person dies, you ain't gonna be able to park on your street till February. They do a whole big week-long thing. When I die, put my ass in the ground. Don't cremate me because I don't like fire. Even though I'm dead, bury me. Ass up. So, kiss it. You kiss it. Shout out to the Hmong. Yeah, her parents weren't fond of me. But whatever, it's fine. Like, cause they lived in the hood, living on the South Side, and all of the kids. So my generation of that family, they were all like ghetto. But the dad was old school. He came over after the Vietnam War because a lot of them got refugee status because they helped us in the war. I never met him. All right, let's talk to Alan. Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you? Hey, happy Mother's Day to your mom. I forgot. I didn't call. I was going to call you yesterday, and I didn't get around to it.
I'm sure she says thank you.
Well, I'm sure she don't really care, but I was thinking of you guys. That's what matters. All right. Again, you know what? My neighbor, the guy who lives behind me, Cy, he's a Hmong.
All right. Is he
very old-fashioned?
Nice? Okay.
I mean, him and I get along. He don't get along with the people who are doing like bad things, but him and I are on the same page. So we talk. His wife don't speak any English at all. She is traditional, and she'll go out. We'll go. You know, we live by the woods over here, by the Haven Woods. We go in there, and she shows me roots, and I'll show her some stuff you can use to make teas and everything. So that's pretty cool.
I have
And they
so
do.
many questions. Okay. So you walk around in the woods with a Hmong lady that doesn't speak English, looking at roots where you can make teas. All right, that's
What's wrong with that?
I'm not letting my wife walk around. My wife is not walking around in the woods with you or anybody for that matter.
Well, that's all right. They make sure that nobody. I was over there first. I saw her doing it one day, and I asked Cy, and he said, hey, and he told me what they were doing, and then. We just started talking. She talks a little bit, but not.
Hmong are big Democrats. They vote for Democrats. You know that, right? So that you probably don't have that in common with them. But also, aren't there movies about white people going in the woods with other people, and then only one of them comes back?
Well, I'm always going to come back if something bad happens. I'm not too worried about that.
You got 20 seconds, Alan, because I got to take a break. So get it all out. 20 seconds.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I just wanted to wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. That's all.
Thank you.
We
appreciate that.
I don't have a lot of time to listen all the time because I had to go back to work because of these idiots across the street. But anyway, I'll never vote for a Democrat again. I'll tell you that. I did once, and
5,
I've been
4, 3,
Bye.
2. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
So I was shocked that they let an advocate get on the air, because I was like, man, do y'all really want to know what's really going on out here in these streets? I wish I could have a whole show that y'all could listen to every phone call that come to my. I could do a whole show on my voice message. Just people calling, talking about what's happening. Just off the voice message, y'all wouldn't even believe what I got in my voice message. If I'm gonna start a podcast after show, I'm gonna let y'all hear the raw material because we can't even play it on the air. That's how real it is out here. That's why I ain't got time for all y'all all that extra stuff that y'all be trying to do. I'm just happy that we're able to have these great, powerful conversations, but I'm going to always remind y'all that we got to still get out here and get to work.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m., live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm over here looking up some data because I want my next point to make sense, and I don't know if the Democratic candidates running for governor are making sense. So the dude from Minocqua Brewing, somebody asked in the chat, like, I see your comments, ladies and gentlemen, when you post things in the YouTube chat, but I don't always attribute it to the person that typed it because I'm just reading the commentary. I don't always recall or record in my mind who made the comment. But the guy that has the Minocqua Brewing Company, he's an idiot. He's a kook. He's a nut job. He's an example of how people who are on the super duper far left are insane and they're not fit to govern. They can govern locally. Local government, which is like the oldest form and like the most like pronounced and pure, that's the word. It's the most pure form of the democracy. Like your town hall meetings, your school board races, your vote for older person, the people that control the budgets and control the policy that really impact your quality of life. That's where you have crazy people. You can elect all the kooks you want. And then sometimes Congress, members of Congress, that's kind of local too, because the congressional district is about 500,000 people. Now, because the American population is expanding and we're not making our congressional districts larger, some of them have 700,000 or 800,000 people in them. But that's almost like a mayor. A member of Congress is like a mayor type of representation of that amount of constituents. And some of them are nuts too. So there's a place to be insane and run for office and win, but it's usually the lower levels of local government. When you start getting up to governor, because governors are more likely to be elected president. More governors of the United States of America have been elected to the presidency than members of Congress, probably combined. We like governors for some reason. We don't like members of Congress. A couple of them, Kennedy, Barack Obama, Lyndon Johnson, he was a member of the House at one point in time. He got elected president. Well, he also got his first term as president, he got it by default because John F. Kennedy had a really bad day in Dallas. Like, you want to talk about a bad day? Like, I've had bad days, and it's because I, like, spilled my coffee. Kennedy's day was just like, phew, man, he probably wished he never got out of bed. What, too soon? It's been like 65 years.
Was it staged?
I'm not getting into your conspiracy theories, Xavier. I don't. Were Donald Trump's assassinated? Nah, it's a bad example. So his name is Kurt Bangstead. Bangs a lot. Bang on a drum. Wang Chung, whatever his name is, he's a nutcase. Tom Tiffany is running commercials. Tom Tiffany is the Republican. He's going to be the Republican nominee because the other Republicans that were running for the nomination have dropped out of the race. He sounds like a stereotypical old, up north, folksy, like his campaign commercial, he's sitting in a bar, then he's in the living room with his mother, and his mother is like knitting a quilt. It's so corny and it's so lame. Who would want to vote for that? It's almost like he is trying to emulate Tony Evers, but dude, you're a Trump-loving Republican who's been endorsed by Trump. Just go away. We've all had enough of that. And I don't know why more white people aren't sick of white people. And I think they are. They just don't express it. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, sometimes I get real sick of black people. I open up the websites and look at the news. Oh, what have we done now? Oh, I'm so sick of this. It's okay to be sick of your own people. But they just they've screwed things up because for a while, and when I say a while, probably a couple 100 years, I'm going to say some things about race, and I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying without getting all emotional, because the whites are very sensitive these days. They're very sensitive. Because they know that tick-tock, tick-tock, the clock is ticking. So I want to be mindful of the sensitivity of the whites, because they still got a lot of influence. But for a while, they just set the tone for everything. For how governments were going to be run and elections and democracy and business and how businesses are set up and organized. And everything, all the policies for everything, like the way that we exist in the world, the healthcare system, the education system, just a bunch of white folks. Then as time goes on, black people gained in influence and in knowledge. We've achieved higher levels of education. You know, we've come along very nicely considering 200 years ago, we were not in a very good position. 200 years ago, we couldn't even read. And so I think we've done well in a very short period of time. I know that more progress needs to be made, but progress is slow. But we've done a pretty good job. And so now we offer alternative viewpoints and an alternative history to what the white people, mostly white men, have just laid down. I'll just give you one shining example, and there are millions I could reference. White men had a lot of help in everything from the subjugation of people and colonizing people. It had a lot of help in creating their families, which would be the next generation of racists. They had a lot of help from white women. White women were there every step of the way. Quite honestly, being very supportive of white supremacy. And we sometimes, because they play and are portrayed as the damsels in distress, white women can oftentimes be like, oh, no, not me. I didn't do anything. I'm just a victim. They are sometimes the most racist ones because a lot of times these white men leave their women to raise the kids. And who do you think is infecting these children's minds to be the next generation of racists? The women are. But then they always can do this plausible deniability. No, I'm a victim too. And then she bats her eyelashes. Then she testifies in front of Congress. And they name a bill after a white woman because that actually happens. But white men are so cold-blooded, they probably could not have been nearly as successful in creating this country the way that they did without the help and the support of their white women. And they basically told white women, yeah, you can't vote. Nah, we don't. Shut up. Just keep doing wife stuff. You know how cold-blooded that is? Yeah, we know you've been helpful. We know you've been complicit. We know that you just sat there while we as white men fell in love with and had children with every female slave on the plantation, and a white woman just, you know, the beef that exists between, and maybe it's unspoken. You ain't gonna hear about the sisterhood between black women and white women. It's all performative and y'all know it. Y'all hate each other, and I don't blame you. But the hatred that the white woman has, deep-seated, subliminal, this subconscious, just like poisonous, it's an acidic kind of hatred, is because their men used to prefer you. And in some cases, I would argue they still do. Do you know how many racist white men love that chocolate? It'll blow your mind, but maybe you shouldn't. Oh, they love it so much. Even my non-racist white friends like, dude, Sherwin, dude, look at that sister over there. Look at that badonkadonk she's got. I love that so much. And the white men, just right in the faces of their wives, would just be out sleeping with the slave women and having babies with them. The deep-seated hatred. And the white men were just like, yeah, you can't have any rights. People should know this bit of history, and it's subjective, even though it's shrouded in disgusting racism. I'm going to get back to Joe Brennan in a second. Don't worry, he ain't going nowhere. The women's suffrage movement, because these white women are like, what? Hello, we want to be able to vote. And white men are just like, shut up, get in the kitchen and make me a 18th century sandwich with whatever kind of meat they were eating. Get in the kitchen and put another fire in the hearth, woman. Black men got the right to vote immediately upon emancipation. It wasn't even a thought. During Reconstruction, not only were we voting, we were running for office, we were winning, we were getting elected to the Senate, to the State House, we were getting elected sheriff, and these white women are like, what? Well, we need to start a movement, a women's suffrage movement. And it was based on the hatred that white women had, not just for blackness writ large, but black men got the right to vote. Let me do you one better. Let me show you how these things echo through history. I want you guys to internalize this now. Black men had a head start on white women when it came to voting. Yes, in America, we can agree on that. We were voting in 1866 until the white people were like, this is a bad idea because they're too good at voting. We need to have a terrorist organization to scare them away from the polls. That is how the KKK was founded. The KKK was not just, we're going to burn a bunch of crosses and lynch a bunch of black people. They were an anti-suffrage organization. So the KKK goes first. Pulaski, Tennessee is where they were started. So that's around 1866, 1867. KKK is they're like, these black guys got to stop voting because then they're going to put in policies that are going to subjugate us as white people, even though we've never done that. So the black men are voting. White women are like, hey, what about us? And the white men were like, screw you. And so black men got a head start on voting. Now, we were stifled during Jim Crow, and that's why we had to have the Voting Rights Act. Now the Voting Rights Act has been gutted, but we got a head start on voting. That's why a black man got elected first to the presidency of the United States, because black men had a head start in the electoral system in America. Prove me wrong. You can't. That's why a white woman still has not been elected president. They got the right to vote in 1920. We got, as black men, even though we were hindered and hampered, we got that initial head start. So somewhere deep in the fabric of all of the things that make up black culture and the ethnicity of being African American is participating in the political process. Now, it was stifled for a while, but I want you to look at how hard we worked, how far we marched, how much we bled, how much we died, how much time we spent in jail to get that right back. Because we started off with it and they took it away. We got a head start. White women started the suffrage movement based upon the jealousy that they had that black men were able to vote and had the vote 54 years. Women got the right to vote 1920, 1921. Black men were voting in 1866. That's a hell of a head start. Now, depending upon where you were in the country, Jim Crow laws didn't impact a black man's suffrage. So if you were an African American freed in 1864, because some of us were freed January 1st, 1863. Others of us didn't know we were free until Juneteenth Day, 1865. That's where Juneteenth Day comes from. Who was I just talking to? Oh, I think it was the dude from Civic Media. Was it him? I don't want to get my white people mixed up. There's a regional director of Civic Media who's involved in, this whole trust thing that we've been talking to you about. I don't want to get my white people mixed up. Sometimes you get them confused. I think he said that he had recently found out about Juneteenth Day, or he didn't know about Juneteenth Day or something growing up. That's segregation for you. How do you not know? Isn't that a significant date? Let's just look at it for what it is. Black people used to be slaves. We know that, right? Do we all agree on that basic bit of historic fact? Then one day we weren't. Isn't that like a major thing to know? And it was June 19th. Like, how was that not? This education system is not doing good. How do you not know that? Wouldn't you be curious? Wouldn't you ever just say to yourself, when did the blacks get to walk away from, I guess how white people understand it, as farming? Because they used to farm. How did they just walk away from the farm? Like, there was a whole war fought. They try and change the narrative of the Civil War. It was about the economy because the North used wage labor because they couldn't transition to slavery in the North because the North was way more enlightened. The North is where all the smart people were. The North is where all of the railroads were and all the technology and all the factories that actually made stuff. The North created the Air Force. They did. That's where all the smart people. Look where all the Ivy League schools are. Not in the South. Only good schools are in the South are HBCUs. I said it. Wouldn't they just be fascinated by wow, there was a date in which the black people were freed and there was a whole war. Like the fact that people don't know those very simple things. Like, you got to put this stuff on a college entrance exam because you might weed out some of the people that should never get a college degree. It's insane to me. So they try to tell you the Civil War was about, it's about the economy because the North wanted to be a wage labor economy and the South was a plantation economy. No, it was totally over slavery. And would slavery expand into the new territories of the West? And then you had the Missouri Compromise, and then you had a Kansas-Nebraska Act, because a lot of the United States was still just Native Americans doing their thug thistle. They were just kicking it. They were just out on the grasslands, just riding buffalo and just having sex, hanging out, playing music with their drums and just living it up. And so as we were moving westward as a nation, was the West going to be slavery? And the North was like, no. And the South was like, yes, because we want more representatives in Congress if we create new states going out west, because we want the pro-slavery South to be realized and solidified by more members of Congress that represent slave states. That's why they had to make African Americans and black people and slaves 3/5 of a human being, because you know what kind of bigger advantage the South would have had? Because if you get members of Congress based on population, there's like 2 million slaves. That's a whole nother set of congressional districts based upon slavery. So the North was like, you can't count the blacks as a whole person. We seem to think I guess it does. It has something to do with like, they're not counting our humanity. But we needed to be counted as 3/5 of a human being. Let me explain this to you objectively so you don't get your feelings hurt. Because if we were counted as a full person, the South would have gained even more representation in Congress and pro-slavery policies would have passed, and the South would have had a veto-proof majority in the House and the Senate if we were counted as a full body. It was just political. It wasn't personal. Now, is it offensive? Yes. But if we were counted as a full person instead of 3/5, the South might still have vestiges of slavery now. So the North was like, no, you can't count them as a whole person. First of all, they can't vote. And they can't drive cars. Like I said, they didn't have cars back then. Couldn't ride a horse. Imagine being in a town so racist you're black and can't even ride a horse. Nigger, get off that horse. But it's my transportation, sir. And they could just take your horse from you. Give me that horse, nigger.
You ever seen Django Unchained?
I certainly have seen Django. And Steven. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm supposed to be talking about Joel Brennan. Let me take a break. Come back. I'm getting a lot of text messages from people right now. Maybe I should slow down.
Saying what?
But I just need, don't worry about that. You just got to know, when we became more involved in American society, when racism and segregation was lifted and allowed us to just realize our full potential, this world that white men created, it was weak because they created it with no competition. No one challenged their ideas because our progress was stifled. And once things become more fair, because isn't that what they always want? Oh, everything is going to be fair and going to be equal and everything is going to be on merit. Here's what I come to understand. When you make the playing field level, black people will outpace them in every measurable category because we, for so long, it's a part of who we are. It's in our DNA. It's a part of our culture. We had to do so much more with less. And if you give us just a taste of equality, we will zip past you, and they don't like it. They're just, and I'm not generalizing or stereotyping, because there's some white people that are smart and they do smart people stuff. But then there's some, especially because if you want to analyze a white fellow that's in like a really high position, like professional or corporate position, and then you talk to him, you're like, you're dull. Like, you're not, you gotta, like, I want to see brilliance. Because I see brilliance, you know where I've seen brilliance growing up? In black men. Brothers that went to prison, came out of prison, and they were smart, they were intelligent, but they didn't have the access and the resources and the know-how and the opportunity to be business leaders. It's some dudes that sold dope back in the 90s that I know could have ran Fortune 500 companies. The sophisticated operations they had to have about supply, demand, weights, measures, costs, risk, police, prison, getting shot and killed. A labor force, you got to have people out there selling your drugs for you. Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's illegal, but if you don't have those kind of opportunities to go legitimate, then you're going to make the best of what you have. And when you give an African-American man or woman or a child just the same thing that white folks have had since the beginning, we make them look silly, and they don't like it. They just are like, oh, these blacks. All right, I'm going to take a break. Oh, my computer just went blank for some reason. I got to take a break, don't I? All right. You're listening to my radio show. It's called The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon on 101.7 The Truth. I also have my own YouTube channel. I think when Tory Lowe is done, because I think he's done like in 2 weeks, give or take, I think I'm going to start broadcasting on my YouTube channel. I'm not from 1 until 4. I'm not doing a whole 3-hour radio show on 101.7 The Truth and then going home and doing 3 more hours. I might give y'all a little taste. But subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Hughes Views 414. So I picked up like 100 subscribers in the last day. Let's do 100 subscribers a day. I mean, hell, I got us to almost 8,000 subscribers here. I know my colleagues also participated. They helped. So get me to 8,000 subscribers. Hughes Views 414. Do we have it pinned, Xavier? It's pinned in the YouTube chat. I don't know why they're letting us do that. That's not. Is that wrong for me to pin? No, it's not.
No, it's personal promotion. Nothing wrong with that.
Because if you look at my name caption on the YouTube video, at Hughes Views 414 is my handle, and that's where my Instagram is and my TikTok is. I only got 3 TikToks posted on the Hughes Views, and one of them was me and Zach was at Taylor's one day. Zach, weren't we at Taylor's and they had a protest going on, and then you just started walking in the protest?
But some of my family was in the protest.
Were we there for the protest? Why?
We were there to watch the protest because I think we thought it was going to get like a little spicy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we were there to like people watch, quote unquote.
And you went and got in it.
And then I got in it because I was like, oh, this is a regular protest. And then I saw some of my cousins on my dad's side. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with them.
I stayed at Taylor's and drank. I was like, I'm not walking with these people. I'm not. Nah, I'm going to finish this vodka soda. And plus, I like the patio at Taylor's. That's where I sit. All right, I got to take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hurricane damage can be devastating. If you've been impacted by a hurricane, the last thing you want is to be taken advantage of. Contractors who show up immediately following a disaster could be scammers looking to make a profit off your insurance claim. They make promises that sound too good to be true to convince you to sign a contract. Don't be victimized a second time. Listen to your gut and don't be afraid to say no. If you suspect fraud, call 800-TEL-NICB, a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The most votes, most black votes in history, not percentage-wise. Obama, 131 million. No. Who do we vote for in the highest number? Because I'm trying to figure out what was their political campaign, like what were their platform items where the largest number, raw number of African Americans, like millions and millions of us, what presidential candidate got the most African American votes? I'm getting percentages here. Researchers estimated Obama received roughly 15 million black votes in 2008, so he's the winner, right? The presidential candidate who appears to have received the largest raw total number of black votes in U.S. history was Barack Obama in the 2008 election. Here's why. 131 million people voted in 2008. That's not a lot. More people have voted in recent elections, so that was 2008. Without looking it up, I know 2020 and 2024, more overall people voted. 131 million people voted in 2008, then a modern turnout record. Black voters made up 12 to 13% of the electorate. Obama won approximately 95% of black voters. Researchers estimated Obama received roughly 15 million black votes in 2008. Well, that makes a lot of sense, though, because of where the country was in a variety of different categories. A lot of those negative categories, especially the economic ones, harmed black people, and Obama was just the best candidate. Sometimes I have to really think to try and remember who Barack Obama ran against in 2008, and it was old John McCain and Sarah Palin. Side note on Sarah Palin. Yeah, I would. Hear me out, though. Hear me out. Just hold on. No. It depends on where we at. It depends on a lot of things. But I don't have, I would talk to her about policy. I would like, Sarah, what were you thinking?
You love the bunnies.
I love women. I can't help it. And it's not going away. I thought that as I become an old man, I think I love them more. They're so good. Even the ones that are bad are good.
They're so beautiful. So many shapes and sizes, colors, and different smells.
Do you guys remember, you have to be of a certain age to get this sentiment. Remember walking into a toy store when you were a kid? So I would get rewarded. Didn't happen often. If I got like good grades or a good report card or like something good happened, my dad would be like, yo, you trying to go to Toys R Us? I'm like, Toys R Us. The way you felt when you walked in, it was just like, look at all these things. And that was back when you could buy a toy gun that would get you shot by the police today. Our toy guns were real. We had cap guns that actually went bang. We had metal cap guns that looked like actual revolvers. We had holsters for our cap guns. We would literally pretend to shoot each other. And then I got into the whole BB gun era. Talk about stupid. I shot everything with my BB gun. No window was safe. We had a TV in the basement. Filled it full of BB gun holes. My father had an absolute fit. Now, it was a TV that nobody watched, but I just loved shooting stuff with my BB gun. Let me tell you something that I'm very embarrassed about to this day. Sorry, Pops. But, well, my father is dead and he's still mad at me because I did this. My father bought me an arcade pinball machine. I was the only kid that I knew. And he played it damn near more than I did. I had one of the first video game consoles. You know, back when everybody was getting an Atari, I want y'all to look this up. It was a video game console called an Odyssey. It was way advanced. It was like a computer. This was in the early 80s. I was like second grade. My dad bought me an Odyssey. I had a pinball machine. So I get into the BB gun era because I graduated from fake guns and toy guns to cap guns to naturally you got to get a BB gun. And I had this pinball machine. I had played the pinball machine so many times. And it was an early 80s pinball machine. It wasn't like, if an arcade pinball machine was like a 10, I had like a 7.5. It was still all the neighborhood kids, you know, wanted to play the pinball machine. But after a while, it got boring. I'm thinking to myself, what happens if I shoot the display of this pinball machine with my BB gun? Yeah, I know. Xavier's shaking his head. BB went right through it. All the lights went out in my dad. I didn't tell him, and he went down to play it. And ho, ho, ho! He actually, so we kept it, and then when my brother was like 7 or 8, he got it like refurbished and redone. He even had like my brother's name. If Tyler, you listening? He liked the video in the Hughes Views Facebook group, so he might be listening. Tyler, when did Dad redo the pinball machine and have your name put on it? Where is that pen? They probably got rid of it now. I mean, the damn thing is 40-something years old. Why am I talking about, where am I going with this? Why am I doing, where am I going? I just talking about BB guns and the 80s and...
Whoa.
Oh, women!
Yeah, you were talking about women, your love of Sarah Palin.
The feeling, she's just included in the big mix. I have a variety of what I like. The feeling we used to get as a kid going into the toy store was just like overwhelming. If I walk into a room full of all women, I just like, smell that estrogen. Somebody's ovulating. I don't know what it is, and it's not. I would be an awful husband because it's impossible. Fellas that are married, never mind, don't answer because you're just going to lie, especially if your wife is next to you. How do you ever turn it off? You can't. Women, I think, can turn it off because for the most part, the man that's not yours probably can disgust you as much as turn you on. I don't know if women can have this animalistic, maybe they can, I don't know. Women, I don't know about how they think. But I don't know if they will walk into, if a woman walks into a room full of men, she needs to think safety. I think of this old adage, God, I should not say this one. This one is bad. Because like a lot of stuff that I have in my head and a lot of things that I discuss with my friends, I don't know that stuff is offensive because I come from an era where we didn't really know what political correctness was. Political correctness means just don't say something that someone that you don't know, never met, would never get along with, may be offended possibly on a random Tuesday. Like political correctness says don't say stuff because somebody might not like it, even if it's a person you're not talking to. Political correctness for me is someone that's eavesdropping on your conversation, has no business listening to it, might get mad at what you may say to one of your friends or your family members. So there's this old adage. Two bulls standing on top of a hill. You know where I'm going?
Oh, yeah. I've seen the movie.
Whole bunch of female cows at the bottom of the hill. That's in a movie?
Yeah, Colors.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. You've seen Colors, right?
Oh, God, yeah. I saw Colors when it was in theater.
Yeah.
Probably came out in 87 when I was in 7th grade. Two bulls standing on top of a hill. Down in the valley, they see a whole bunch of female cows, a whole bunch of heifers. And the young bull is like, let's go down there and run down there and mount one of those cows. Let's run. This is what the young bull is saying to the old bull. We're going to run down the hill and get us one of those cows. Let's mount one of those cows. And the old bull says, no, youngin'. Let's walk down and mount them all. I'm the old bull. I'm the old bull. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Want to save money on energy bills? With free tools from We Energies, you're in control. Manage your energy use with easy tips. Earn rebates on home upgrades. Calculate your energy use. Create savings goals. View and compare bills, and more. With We Energies, the energy info you need is at your fingertips. Save your way at WeEnergies.com/simple savings or download the app. We Energies. Simple steps, real savings.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Nicole, to answer your question, yes, Tori's show is ending. I thought y'all knew that. Tori said his goodbye last week. He is parting ways with 1017 The Truth. I'm only saying this because he said it. The new trust that purchased 1017 The Truth, Tori opted not to be involved in that unless something changes. But as far as I know, as of yesterday, he is not going to be involved. So how in the hell is that actually going to work? What are we going to play from 1 until 4? I ain't coming back. What, y'all two going to get a show?
Yeah, the communist podcast.
Zach ain't no commie.
I'm just going to be DJing communist music half of the time.
All right. Well, is that really what's going to happen?
Yeah,
No.
we'll start off the show with some Russian music, and then I'll, give my soliloquy for 3 hours.
Well, I can't wait to listen to that.
It'll be a great podcast.
All right. Well, while they're doing that, come on over to Hughes Views 414, and I'll just give you some alternative programming. Like I'll have an alternative Super Bowl. Is what I'll offer. Yeah, Tori is He's done. Tony says, no, you're not the old bull. You're just dreaming. You'd be surprised. Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Joel Brennan denied reporting last week that he feels being white is an advantage in a state that has never had a non-white man as governor. Here's what I will say to you, Joel, and I've known Joel for 25 years. It's totally an advantage for you. And I don't blame you for getting in a race where that would be your advantage. And it's okay to say that. We have to start just being honest. It's okay. Like, there's nothing a white person can say that can offend me, really. I've heard it all, and I expect the worst from them. I expect their ignorance. I expect their little interaction and understanding with black people and black culture. I expect they understand like this unvarnished version of history. I understand that, and I understand their ignorance to come out. I expect them to say stupid things all the time. My expectations are very, very low. And so if they say something that is on par with how I already view them, like, oh yeah, I'm a white guy in a white state where the majority of the voters are white. 78 to 80% of the voters in the state of Wisconsin are white. Now, of those 78 to 80% of the eligible registered voters, some are liberals, some are moderates, some are independent, some are conservatives, some are Trumpers, right? They kind of span the political spectrum. But at the end of the day, I think that white people feel comfortable being represented by somebody who's a Catholic like them or a Lutheran like them or grew up going to fish fries or they got alcoholic parents that drink Manhattans. They have a lot of stuff in common culturally, even though political party may separate them. Don't you just feel comfortable when the person who is at the helm of your tax dollars and making decisions on your community is someone that you can relate to racially and culturally and ethnically? It just makes sense. That's not wrong. The problem is us black folks, we feel left out. When white people do white folks' business, let them. When black people do black folks' business, white people, let us. But I don't blame him for saying that. Like, we get offended by it because here's the thing. If you don't have a deep, thorough understanding of the African-American community and all that we have dealt with and all the progress that we have made and where progress still lags, that's where you see a lot of these negative social indicators and a lot of these disparities. If you don't understand that, and most of them don't, then you have no business running for office and needing our vote in the first place. If you want to run for office and just cater to white people, and then if you can get through a primary by doing that, okay, well, we can't stop you. But then if you think that you're going to come back and just bring black folks along when you get to the general election, quite honestly, some of us would rather just not vote at all. Or we'll write a candidate in. We'll vote because I think we want to be counted in the overall number of people that participated in an election. But that's silly to think. But I'm not going to get angry at someone who is a centrist white guy that says, oh, the race needs a centrist white guy, and then he gets in the race as a centrist white guy. Then he says centrist white guy stuff like, oh, Wisconsin's not ready for a black or a candidate of color governor. We're probably not. And voting for Barack Obama was way different. Barack Obama wasn't here in the state of Wisconsin. He wasn't in the state capitol. He was in Washington, D.C., putting together policies that were at a 10,000-foot view. We still had a majority white legislature here in Wisconsin, even though Barack Obama was president. In fact, who was Tommy Thompson? Who was the governor when? No. How do I not know who the governor was? It was Jim Doyle. That's who it was. I should know that. I worked for Jim Doyle. Madison is the whitest place I ever been to. Last week I went to the opening of the Black Center for Excellence. Am I getting the name right? Black cultural, damn it, black. It's just so odd and so new to me that I still can't get the name right. No offense to the people that built it. The Center for Black Excellence. Thank you. Center for Black Excellence in Culture. Okay. That's the name of it. I got to say something about black people in Madison. They're so weird. They remind me, they're going to get mad. Not all of them, but 88% of the black people in Madison are like, you guys remember the movie Get Out? You know, the black people that were at that party who had been, like their bodies had been overtaken by white people? That's what it feels like Madison is. Like they look at a black person from Milwaukee like we're different. Not different like bad, like, oh, what's it like where you're from? Well, what do you all get to do? What do you... Do you, and it got to stutter a little bit. Do you play pickleball? Like, what is you? Myself, Dr. G, who is the proprietor of the center, Jason Fields, and a couple other black legislators from the city of Milwaukee were in one of the many rooms at the center, and we were talking, right? I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. This is going to be one of those core memories of my visit to the center. And as I walked around it, I was just stunned by its beauty. And the fact that it's in Madison, where the entire black population in Madison is 25,000. The black population in the city of Milwaukee is 250,000. But they have a center that was $30+ million, 50,000 square feet is the total size of the campus. And it's paid for. Like, there's no construction loan on it. We can't even have a single day African World Festival in the city of Milwaukee. You know what it would take for us to have just a African World Festival? Because you know the other ethnicities have their festivals. They got the Italians and the Germans and the Polish and the Irish and all those other white people. They all have their own festivals. It would basically take the equivalent of each black person in the city of Milwaukee contributing $10. And we could put on the dopest festival ever. But that's too much to ask. So this black lady comes up to us. She's a Madison black, and they're all wearing their African attire, which I don't wear African attire. Because if I was an African, which I'm not, I would be offended if I saw an African American play dress up. I would, because I think that's black people. Guess what? You can culturally appropriate too. I ain't never been to Ghana, but all of a sudden I'm dressing like I'm from Ghana. That's cultural appropriation. They got a different culture. It's a whole different country. I don't speak Guyanese. I don't know how to speak that stuff. That's cultural appropriation. So there's all the blacks, so they're wearing their African stuff. They're dashikis. And so this black lady comes up to us, and it's just myself, Jason Fields, Dr. G, and then two other African-American legislators. And we're having a little powwow, right? Chopping it up. And this poor little Madison black lady comes up. Can I please trouble you for a picture? And we were like, oh my God, of course. We thought that she wanted one of us to take a picture of her at the center. She wanted a picture of all of us because she was probably thinking, these Milwaukee blacks, I don't get to see these very often. And we're taking a selfie with this. She's so sweet. And then she had a walker. But she had a walker with wheels on it, so she was able to scurry kind of quickly. She scurried away because she had wheels on her walker. Her walker had wheels on it. So she scurried over. Well, why don't you take the picture? So we're in a selfie with the lady. And she said, oh, thank you. And then she, in a cartoon, when somebody takes off real fast, it's like that trail of dust behind them because and she just took off. I'm going to take a break because I need to. Got other stuff I got to talk about. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
Another function of white supremacy, don't teach black people stuff, because if you give us a little bit of knowledge, we'll invent something totally new. That's why it was illegal to teach slaves to read, because if we could read, then we could write. And if we could write, we could communicate. And if we could communicate, we could plan. And if we could plan, we could strategize. And if we can plan and write and read and communicate and strategize, we could overthrow white supremacy, because they've always known how fragile it is.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. My love for animals began when I was 5 years old. That sparked a lifelong commitment to speak up for animals who can't speak for themselves. Elvis and I supported American Humane Society because your compassion can change a life. American Humane Society strengthens the bond between humans and animals. Please visit AmericanHumane.org to learn more. Thank you.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Community Spotlight on Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. We will be speaking with Nicole Lorino, the 2026 chair for March for Babies. Nicole will discuss how March for Babies brings families and caregivers together to support healthier moms, stronger babies, and life-saving NICU care through the March of Dimes. Again, that is the Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Mile to, I guess, respond to your comment you left in the YouTube chat. I don't want anyone to think that any show that is currently on 1017 The Truth that is ending is some grand conspiracy about integrating with white people. We got to be, I guess, a little more fair. Whenever black people decide to do something, it ain't got nothing to do with white folks. Tory decided he didn't want to do that. That was his choice. If the company that you work for merges with Pepsi, even though you may drink Pepsi, because I think all of us consume black media, and there's other black media involved in this new trust we're going to be a part of, even though you may drink Pepsi, even though you may consume black media, your company that you work for being bought up by Pepsi, you just might not want to be involved in Pepsi's business affairs. And Tory was not a radio broadcaster to begin with. He had a platform. He was an activist. He tried to help people. And that seemed worthy of conversation. But no, this is not. He ain't being fired. He's leaving, which we're not that beholden to white people. It's easy to think that we are, but black people make decisions all the time. And if anything, he might just want to explore new avenues. This is one of those things where I don't know if people are always, you're meant to do this forever. I don't know if I can do radio forever. If so, I don't know. Maybe the podcast thing. Because it's just, I don't know. Because you got to deal with the corporate side of things, and corporate, that's the stuff I don't like to deal with. The whole, when I'm off air, all that stuff to me is noise. Like, oh, Sherwin, we need you to come to this meeting to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with literally anything at all. Nothing. And you have to be there. It's a mandatory meeting where you have no choice but to go. It's not going to impact your job at all. It's got nothing to do with your work or your product. It's not going to help you. It's not going to foster more creativity. It's not going to give you more ideas. We're just going to have a meeting to discuss the last meeting that we had, and then we're going to discuss what we're going to do at the next meeting. And you have to be there. Okay, well, what time is the meeting? At the most inconvenient time for you. That's when the meeting is. And again, you have to be there. And if you're not there, you're a bad person. You're a bad coworker coming to the meeting that's going to discuss the last meeting, even though you missed the last meeting. Don't worry, we'll catch you up. Well, how long is the meeting going to take? An hour longer than you have. That part right there, oh, wow. That's why entrepreneurship can be great. It's a lot of risk, though, and it's a lot of work. I can obviously do my own podcast, but having a producer makes it a lot easier. This is why I've taken, over the years, I've expanded my duties. Like, I play my own music. I've been playing my own music for probably 2 years now. Most shows don't play their own music. Dr. Ken might. Is Zach in there? Zach, does Doc play his own music? He doesn't? Okay. I get my own stories and my own articles together. I know a lot of folks will sit down with their producers. That don't work for me. I tried that once before. So my early days at WNOV, oh, y'all going to love this. So they put me with, somebody had a show that said, Sherwin, we want you to be their co-host. They didn't ask that person that had the show if they wanted me as their co-host. The station manager was like, yeah, join this person at 7 a.m. She and I didn't get along on the air because it was her show. And it had been her show. And I was like, yeah, it's not working out. So I quit. I was like, I don't want to be somebody's co-host that didn't want me as their co-host. So then I quit. And then they said, hey, Sherwin, we just fired her. Now it's your show. I was like, oh, that's bad for her. But then in the studio with me, because there's no cameras back then. This whole camera thing in radio was new and kind of, I don't know, I'm used to it now. But we had these cameras in here for like probably a good year before we even turned them on because we didn't know what to do with them. Because I don't want to get to the point where I'm performing for the camera, like, putting on a bonnet. But my producer at the time, there was a board op, but then there was a person sitting next to me in the radio station, and then they would like email me articles in real time and like tell me what to talk about. It was awful. It was and then I ended up kicking that person out of the studio. So I've been doing a lot of these duties on my own without the need for a producer. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Follow Hughes Views 414 on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. And in the meantime, stay tuned because I'm going to take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 12th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Diego Padres.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 12th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. You think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Join the movement. Listen to The Tori Lowe Show on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something that's bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. You see, owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always know they'll belong. It's about planting roots and knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to help. An Axe Housing coach will assist you in creating a plan, building a budget, improving your credit, and moving step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying a lot less than what they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your journey begins at home. It was hour 3. Hi, welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Just talking to my producer, and no offense to people that produce. Producing a media broadcast is an art. Producing television is different. The television is designed to be visual. You got to have all the stories laid out, and most television anchors are just announcers. They read from prompters. So before 1017 The Truth started, fall of 2020, I got an offer. A guy from NPR reached out to me out of nowhere from California. And NPR allows you to be remote. So you can be in Milwaukee and then work for NPR, Sacramento or Fresno or New Orleans, whatever. And so he reached out to me because he knew that I had been in radio before, and they were looking for there's a whole bunch of jobs that NPR was looking for during the pandemic. But he told me, because he was familiar with how I do radio, and he was like, oh, yeah, sure, when everything is scripted, you just be reading stuff. You can't give your opinions. You can't be politically biased. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Even though it would have been a solid radio gig, I have too many opinions on too many things. And the news media, for the most part, is disappointing now more than ever. NPR would have been disappointing. And also, have you ever listened to NPR? So I have a radio in my shower, and I try and catch the morning stories of what's going on while I'm taking my shower in the morning, just to see if something major happened overnight that might be relevant to talk about on my show. What I don't like about the news media is they have lost their ability or desire or courage to just question stuff. Not once will you ever hear something that we have all talked about. And when people are talking about one thing and the media is not also engaging and providing information to further the discussion of what people are already talking about, then the media becomes useless. It becomes fodder for stereotypes and for just misinformation. Here's an example. If some of us thought maybe, just maybe, that the Trump assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents' Dinner may have been staged, let's have a discussion about that. Let's have a couple segments on that. Let's have news media actually say, well, here's the camera angles. Here's the details about this. Here's the Secret Service that were stationed here. Here's the typical protocol that usually goes into a White House Correspondents' Dinner at the Washington Hilton Hotel. Interesting thing about that, the Trump assassination attempt was in April. 45 years prior, there was an assassination attempt where John Hinckley actually shot President Reagan. So the security that they have built into the Washington Hilton is some of the most top-notch. Also, because every year, the Washington Hilton hosts the White House Correspondents' Dinner, keeping in mind that a person tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan at that same hotel in 1981. The security there could not be tighter. And the fact that this dude just runs through the metal detectors, through a bunch of security, local police, and Secret Service, and is able to... And we can't even, the media won't even question that. It's useless. And what I can't do, because I know a lot of media is also, it's boring. I don't listen to talk radio. I don't. Sometimes I do. I listen to our morning show here because I'm like, what are they talking about today? But for the most part, do I all day and all night when I'm at home have all these different news media channels and XM radio playing? Absolutely not. And the people who ask me, like, oh, Sherwin, do you listen to so-and-so radio host out of Chicago? I don't even know who that is. Stop asking me if I listen to those people. It's boring, you know? And where we oftentimes get it wrong, and I've learned this over many, many years, and the longer you do this, obviously the better you get at it. It's a whole bunch of stuff that I like, that I want to talk about, that y'all don't care about one bit. And there's sometimes an arrogance in the host, and they believe that because they have a microphone, that they should talk about only the stuff that they like. Now, where I'm fortunate is that the people that listen to me with regularity, we're similar in the stuff that we want to hear about, so that actually helps. But then there's some people who are just like in outer space with what they're interested in, and like, oh, hey, audience, today I'm going to talk about how you can disassemble a cell phone with only a couple of common household tools. Don't nobody want to hear about that. It's boring. I don't. And then some how many producers have I had? God bless it. All told, I've had so many producers since I've been doing radio. Some of them are dead. How's that? I've been doing radio for so long, some of the people that I worked with are dead. Keon Jackson Malone, Ernie G, Eric Vaughn. Eric Vaughn had a show. He did a morning show at WNOV. He was there one day. Then the next day he was not. Shocked all of us. But I don't know if you guys knew this. Eric Vaughn had, he was on borrowed time because he had a heart problem. Terribly sad when he died. And then we got Jermaine Reed over at WNOV. Y'all remember Jermaine Reed? Bertha Lou's baby boy is what he called himself. Yeah, you have to figure out what's interesting and fascinating to people is not always interesting and fascinating to you as a host. And here, I have a topic that I love to talk about. Y'all hate it. I notice, when I start talking about this one particular topic, I watch people, they just tune out. The YouTube numbers take a dip. It's something I love to discuss. I'm even encouraged by only a few of you to discuss this topic. And I love the topic, but I don't talk about it anymore. Y'all are not going to make me talk about it. I'm never going to talk about it. I don't want to say never. I have the best relationship shows pretty much since the invention of the human ear. My in-depth, insightful conversations and commentary on relationships is you can't get this stuff anywhere else. I think I need to win an Emmy, an Oscar, a Tony, a Grammy, a Golden Globe. I need to be the winner of the proverbial chicken dinner, right? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I need to win chicken dinner, but Sherwin, and it's mostly women. But that tells me that I'm doing something right, because when women don't like what I'm talking about when it comes to relationships, that's because I struck a nerve and get all mad. And then I got to be careful, though, too, because when I talk about relationships, there's fallout, and the fallout is usually Al. And Al will take a topic that it might be a little racy, maybe a little controversial, and he'll take a topic that on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a cancelable offense, I'm like at a 2 or 3. Al will take it to a 58. And then the whole show falls apart. Are we done talking about Joel Brennan? Is there any more I can extract out of this? So he's a white guy running in the crowded Democratic primary. He said something that people are mad at him about. He's just being honest. He doesn't think that the state of Wisconsin is ready for a non-white governor. Statistically, spot on. I also could say something like, I don't think that America is ready for a woman president of any race. And I say that because it's not my bias against women. I'm used to voting for women. I don't even determine gender. I vote for women. I'm going to tell you why. And it might not be the answer that you want to hear. Because I know that my sentiments about women will never match what women know about themselves and about the obstacles that they face. That as a man, I don't really see them. I respect the fact that women's lives and their worlds are dramatically different from mine. I would rather vote for a woman to help the women that I simply can't, or that I can't relate to. Or if you get a bunch of men together to come up with policies for women, men are like, yeah, let's make abortion illegal. Because, we don't have them, so they shouldn't be able to have them either. That's stupid. But also, along that same line of thinking, imagine when you get a bunch of white people together making policies for black people. A miserable failure. Miserable. Because they don't know. And this is where American history is harmful, because it's where racial bias and racial ignorance can begin. Do you know that we can teach children in a way that they know American history, in a way that doesn't make white kids feel guilty? And also, side note, why do we think white kids are so sensitive where they can't know about what their grandparents did? I also come to find this out, when the whites get together, they don't really talk about the past at all. Black people, we talk about everything. The future, stuff that never happened, our troubles, our despair. We are a very open and honest people. The whites, God love them. What do y'all talk about? They play this card game. It's called Sheep's Head. They play Sheep's Head. Well, Sherwin, do you know, where's your favorite fish fry? They talk about fish fries a lot. They love baseball. The whites, oh my God, they love it so very much. Baseball is okay. It doesn't really get exciting until there's like a pennant race, but baseball is not. Brewers games are kind of like fishing and golf. You got to wait a while for something really cool to happen. And I don't really have that kind of time. I've been to a few Brewers games. There'll be whole seasons where I won't go to a single game, but it's a different kind of white out there. Unless there's the whites, there's always the upper crust whites that are like in the suites, because they want to separate from the other whites, because those other whites, like those are the ones that have COVID and they're unvaccinated. Those are the whites whose kids have measles, you know what I mean? Like, yuck. But it's a lot of just like working class white people at Brewers games, and those are the ones that I tend to be afraid of, because working class white people are very, very insecure about everything. They're insecure about their status, their position in this world. They're insecure about their jobs. They're much more likely to be Trumpers. Those are the dangerous ones. And that's where the Brewers shine. They get them, the working class whites. It's basically, AmFam Field probably holds, about 42,000 people? So basically West Allis. How do people go to Brewers games at 1 o'clock? See, they're not working. That's what it is. Well, what are you guys doing tomorrow at about 1:30? I don't know. Probably gonna go count my fishing lures. Am I being racist right now?
No.
Okay. Just gotta make sure. You want the Brewers are playing the Mets? Oh yeah, well, what time? The first pitch is at 1:30. Oh yeah, that's fine. You wanna go tailgate? I'll meet you there at 11 o'clock. Who in the hell on a Tuesday goes and tailgates at 11 o'clock? It is fun though. I have gone to a handful of Brewers games where I've gotten the full experience. Here's what I don't understand. So you get there very early. Let's say it's a night game, and they're playing somebody like the Cubs, which guaranteed somebody's going to jail. So you know how you see a lot of black people fighting, like Brady Street at several different Walgreens, sometimes at the same time? The whites do it too, but for some reason it's never caught on camera like ours is. Cubs games look like any Walgreens in any black neighborhood at 11 o'clock at night. They're just, what'd you say, pal? Oh, yeah? Well, watch this. And they'll fight each other, and here's what's crazy. They'll all fight with one hand because they're holding a beer in the other hand and won't spill a drop. And like in mid-swing, they'll take a swig of beer. Hold on. This left hand's going to stun you. Hang on. Take that, you rascal. Yeah, they fight too. I got so drunk, I couldn't go in the game. Sherwin, the game's about to start. You ready to go? Where's Sherwin? He's sleeping. Fell asleep in the back and said, what? Well, wake him up. We got tickets to go to the game. They make brats like, man, I'm going to tell you, we don't make brats where they cook them in the beer. Next level. We put our brats on the grill. The way they make, they'll have a grill with a metal, they put it in a metal pan. You guys know how they do this? Have you seen the whites make a brat? They cook them in beer and onions. And they like boil them in the beer and the onions. And then they put them on the grill for just a little sear. Seriously, that is I'm going to go ahead and call that a culinary masterpiece. I love me a good brat. I do. I can't. Italians as well. Italians, I got to take a break. I feel like I wasted that segment.
Oh, it was very insightful.
Okay, what do you label my podcast hours? For a while, you gave up, and I don't blame you, but then somebody messaged me, Sherwin, they're not labeling the podcast. The labels don't even matter because it's not even...
Oh, I label them every day. You don't look at them. I have very artistic titles.
I'll be honest with you, and I know I shouldn't admit this. I mean, I'll just trust you to do your job, but I don't look at any of the podcast title. Well, like, where would I even find them? Like Spotify?
Yeah, you go to Spotify.
Okay.
You know, they're labeled every day. I got really tasteful titles for you. Would you like to know what the second hour was labeled today?
Out of curiosity, yes. But there's a reason why I don't look at them, because I might look at your podcast titles and be like, oh, I don't like that, I disagree. So I just don't look, because I don't really care. That's a small thing. I'm not going to micromanage you. So let me get your podcast titles for today.
1 second.
All right, I'll let you. It's like Ron Joe Rogan when you ask the producer to pull something up, you got to do a little pausing. Okay.
Your podcast title is, it's loading. I forgot. Here we go. The first hour's name is Progress.
Yep.
And the second hour is It's in the Roots.
Don't even know what I talked about, but all right.
Yeah. Then like yesterday.
Yes.
First hour, total lack of respect.
Yes.
The second hour, Black is Beautiful.
It is.
And then the third hour, Sold! Exclamation mark.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, you see? I'm good at this.
So when I send you, I guess that makes sense too. When I send you the title of the show, which it's impossible to come up with a one-sentence title. I think Tori and his producer, they do a better job because they'll have, I think Zach might do this too. They'll have like several different topics in the title. I don't want to get people's hopes up because whatever I am thinking the title of the show should be is never or rarely what I actually talk about. I talked about Juneteenth Day and slavery and black people being 3/5 of a human being and white women starting suffrage because they were racist, and white women's racism and their hatred of black women goes back to the antebellum period. How do you put that in a title? And also, there was no guarantee that I was even going to talk about that stuff because I can't.
Yeah, I feel like It's in the Roots kind of basically, describes that whole thing that you talk about, the antebellum period, women's suffrage, racism.
That's true.
It's in the roots,
Probably should do a segment on when black people wear traditional African garb. How is that not cultural appropriation?
I don't like that. I think it's kind of cosplay, and Africans, a lot of them don't like black people.
Hell no, they don't.
I shot an African wedding last summer. Big Nigerian wedding.
They don't play.
Oh yeah, no. And the speaker, he was all the way from Dubai, and he was talking about how black people don't have culture in America.
That's offensive.
Yeah. It was all Africans. Everyone from there was like, they're all from. It was a big African wedding.
They're hella arrogant. I get so annoyed by Nigerians. Sherwin, please tell me something. I do not understand.
They pay well.
They do have money. Well, in Nigeria, it's corruption. Like, they will rob the hell out of their poor people. Like, there's the rich people, and the rich people got to have a lot of security over there because poor people in Nigeria will eat them. Sherwin, I do not understand. How come you do not connect to your roots? I'm like, hey, Playboy, I don't know you. You can catch these hands, Nigerian man. Like, you might as well be German or Polish to me just because we both got a lot of melanin. We ain't got nothing in common. See, that is what I am talking about. You do not have no respect. Why did you let them take us then? How come you didn't send no boats to come rescue us? Wait a minute. Why are you talking about that part of history? Well, you let the white people take us. You didn't even try to find us. We did not know where they took you to. You should have got on a boat and chased them. Wait a minute. You're attacking the other black people. We're going to chase you, white man. Y'all didn't even come see about us. They didn't.
Well, technically, there are lots of stories of people that did try to come and get their relatives.
Well, they didn't. I don't know none of them. It's not in their history. They didn't come try to save me. Guess what happened when they got here? They said, oh, no, we do not want to have any parts of this. We're going to get on our boat and go home. Hey, look, it's niggers showing up, volunteering. No. We are Nigerians and we are from Africa. We're going to rescue the people that you stole. Oh, yeah? Well, try it. And next thing you know, damn it, I never should have come here. Now I'm working on the James plantation. Oh, I am so mad. This was racist. Definitely.
I don't know. How was that racist?
I don't know. Somebody's offended somewhere. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, who is not racist. I love all the people. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. All your favorite interviews and best moments live in one place.
I love your perspective, Sherwin.
Thank you.
You do a great job.
Appreciate
you do a great job. I downloaded the app so I can listen to you in the evening sometimes because you make a great difference in how you present things in many ways, politically, socially, financially. You do a great job.
Download the new 1017 The Truth app now. Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
At Versity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving. You're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/Versity on King to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, join the March of Dimes this Saturday at 9 a.m. for March for Babies at Greenfield. Come together with the Milwaukee community to support moms and babies and be a part of something that truly matters. Hundreds have already signed up, and there's still time for you to join the walk. Every step helps support healthier pregnancies and stronger families, especially for those facing the greatest barriers to care. So grab your friends, bring the family, and show up. March for Babies this Saturday at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park. Sign up now at marchforbabies.org.
I heard a kiss from you. Red magic satin playing near too.
Mo Love says, you've never been married, so you can't give marriage advice. Let me tell you how insane that is. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but the only advice that a married person can give is what they need to do to be married to their specific spouse. There is nothing that, let's say I got a wife and she's her own unique person. What my married friend, let's say I got a friend that's been married for 30 years. There's certain things that he has to do that's specific to his wife. She's got independent needs and she's got certain things that she likes. I can't say, hey man, what do you do for your wife? And now I'm going to do it for mine. It's all the same. You got to be honest. You got to be decent and respectful. You got to keep it spicy and interesting. You got to communicate, blah, 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 blah. But all a married person can do, and the best advice I've ever gotten from a married person is it's very simple. And guess what? I don't know if y'all married people talk to each other about how you feel about marriage. 'Cause I know married couples all hang out together. That's just gross. That's weird. Like, we have no other friends. We just have to hang out with other married people that are equally as miserable. And I've heard this from men and women. There's no gender bias in this, equally. Not the best. The most honest and consistent marriage advice. And it doesn't even matter the age of the person, how long they've been married. None of that. First marriage, second marriage, third marriage, divorced however many times. The advice that they give, and it's consistent, is one thing. You know what it is. Don't ever get married. Now, I need you to think about this for a second. If the overwhelming majority of people that are married or have been married, and a bunch of people have tried it a lot. Oh, I've been married 3 times. They just never give up. At the end of the day, they all said the exact same thing. Don't get married. There are a lot of married people that are on the verge of divorce, never should have gotten married. They wonder what their life would be like if they didn't have this partner. I don't know if human beings are meant to be with one person. Like, that's a social construct. What that does is it creates a family unit where you are now competitive against other people and other families, and it makes you a consumer because now you got to buy stuff for your family. You're not communal anymore. You're your own unit that's separate from everybody else. It isolates you from society. And that's the absolute truth. Corporate America loves marriages because it's an automatic way to divide and separate people. And I've just seen way too many people that are unhappy. Men and women. Fellas, some of your wives hate your guts. And it's sad. Because you don't even see it coming. Hi, Jonathan, can I talk to you, please? Jonathan's all happy. Now, Jonathan also has not been laid in 3 years. Jonathan, I need to... Nothing ever good comes from a woman saying, I need to talk. Men don't say that. Honey, I think we just say it. Or don't say it because you would know better than to tell her how you feel. Why would you do that? The relationship exists for her to share her feelings with you and for you to fix it because you're the one that did it. She feels this way because you didn't do something right, or you should have known that she was going to get upset by you doing what you're doing, or you got her roses. Why would you get me roses? I like carnations or peonies, or I like tulips or daffodils. That's the one right there. This man is extending a bid to connect in the best way that he knows how, but if he doesn't do it the right way, it's a gesture that is completely disregarded. She gets her hair done. We don't notice. We compliment her on her shoes or her dress, but if we didn't compliment her on her hair, then the other compliments don't matter. So here's what happens. He stops complimenting her. He gets her flowers. They're not the right flowers. They're not the right color. He stops getting her flowers. He's trying to help her around the house. You're not unloading or loading the dishwasher right. You're incompetent. You're inept. What does he do? He stops unloading the dishwasher. And then what happens 5 years later, 10 years later? How come you don't compliment me no more? How come you don't give me flowers no more? How come you don't help around the house and empty or load the dishwasher anymore? Now you got problems in your marriage. You think I'm signing up for that? And then when it's over, give her half. Nope. Nope, don't question it. Don't you dare. Half of everything. No, and then pay her monthly for 10 years while she screws a lot of other men. I mean, a lot. A lot. And she's not going to marry any of them because then the alimony would stop. And then when she comes and picks the kids up, she's coming with her new boyfriend. Oh, in the car that you bought her for her birthday. I told you to have the kids ready. And then the new boyfriend is just looking at you like, but also you're looking at the new boyfriend like you're a sucker. No, I don't want that. unless you need two incomes, unless you want to build together, unless you want a house, unless you want the whole white picket fence, unless you want to do all that, unless you want to have a business arrangement, then oh my God, totally. But now, especially with women making as much or more money than men, in a lot of metro areas, there's no income and pay disparity. You know where the pay disparity comes in? When women have children. If women stay childless, and they also are, black women in particular, have higher levels of education and college attainment, almost more than white men do, in some cases more than white men do, they don't need a man for the income. And we're a lot of headache for them. So you also have to have a whole bunch of willing and marriageable women, and there's not a lot out there. Like, you gotta, like, what do you need to see in somebody to say, oh yeah, I want to be with you like forever? Forever. Now, our parents did it, our grandparents did it, but their world was smaller. I have access to every woman I have ever met. I got access to women I've never met everywhere. And there's a whole different crop of them. Some are on Instagram, some are on LinkedIn, some are on Facebook. They're just, you have all this access. It's not that kind of world anymore. But I know that misery loves company. So.
Jeez.
I mean, you can find out from, listening to other people, you can find out the hard way, but there's nothing about a single person that says, I want all your problems to be my problems forever, including the ones that you never told me about. But men still do it. We still propose because women can make us feel a way that I don't think it's possible for us to make them feel. It's biology. It's not.
What's the closest you ever been to marriage?
I've been engaged.
Oh, what happened?
Realized it wasn't for me. Like, what am I doing? So one was an ultimatum that I fell for. I worked in Madison. I was in Madison at that time, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days a week. And so I met her while working in Madison. And it's not really a long distance relationship, but driving back and forth to Madison is inconvenient. So if we got dinner reservations, I got to leave Milwaukee at 4:30, got to deal with traffic. And if it's snowing, that trip between Milwaukee and Madison, while it's not a long trip, put 4 inches of snow on the freeway, and that changes your whole perspective. So I was like, look, I'm tired of going back and forth. Because I would leave Milwaukee or Madison at any hour of the day. There were some nights I'd leave Milwaukee at 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to come sleep next to you. She's like, come on, door will be open. 3 o'clock in the morning, I get there 4:15, crawl into bed with her. She'd come to my house 3 in the afternoon, 3 in the morning, weekends, weekdays, after work. We both take the day off of work. It was all great, but it got to be long. The drive was just too much. I was like, look, why don't you come live with your boy? She's like, under one condition, I will. We have to be engaged or I'm not living with a man. And I respected that. I was like, cool, I'll propose to her just to buy some time. I was going to have one of those engagements. Do y'all know those couples that have been engaged since 1987? They just don't get married. I thought I was going to be able to do that. I'm telling you, but for her boxes were unpacked. She was looking at wedding venues. I mean, she still had stuff to bring from her house. She wasn't even fully moved in yet. She wasn't playing. I was like, hey, why don't we get settled in? She's like, oh, I'm not playing with you. I told you if I'm going to live with you. And I proposed to her to get her here. It was an elaborate proposal. I went to, have I told this story before? I probably haven't told it to you.
No, yeah. Continue. This is very intriguing.
I got to make it short because I got to take a break. A friend of mine used to manage a restaurant called Kilowatt on the second floor of the St. Kate's Hotel. It wasn't the St. Kate's back then. It was either the Wyndham or the Intercontinental. So I bought the engagement ring, and I went to Kilowatt because my friend was the manager. I had reservation. I was going to propose that night at dinner. So I went to Kilowatt earlier in the day, gave this $7,000 ring to my friend who was the manager at Kilowatt, and I was like, yeah, we got dinner reservations tonight. I was like, bring the ring out with dessert. She was like, cool, I got you. So fiance comes in, or almost fiance, drives in from Madison. We go to dinner. Have dinner. Dinner was great. Casual conversation. I'm nervous as all get out. And the restaurant was packed. We finished our food because we were going to go out that night. We were going to Cush afterwards. Cush is no longer there. It used to be on North Avenue. So the manager comes out, says, hey, dessert. We got dessert for you guys. And then the woman I was proposed to was like, nah, we're leaving. Just give us the bill. And the manager, who's my friend, was like, no, I insist. She's like, no, we're getting ready to get out of here. We got stuff we got to do. And she's like telling the manager, we don't want it. Just take it back. And it's on one of those silver platters with, the cover on it. And I'm just sitting over here, and I'm starting to get a little anxious. I'm like, do you know what's coming? And obviously she didn't know what's coming. So the manager puts the tray on the table, and then my girlfriend comes like, yo, I said, she got like loud with her. Like, no, we don't want it. And I pulled the cover off, and it was the box. And all of a sudden, my girlfriend stopped. She was like stopped in her tracks, like deer in the headlights. And I grabbed the box, got up from the booth, got on one knee, opened it up, instant tears. Everybody in the restaurant is clapping. I asked her if she'd marry me. All these people are making all this noise. I didn't even hear her say yes. I'm assuming that she did, and she put her hand out. I put the ring on her finger, and everybody clapped. And that engagement lasted 6 months.
Oh.
And that was that. I put more effort into the proposal than I think I actually, because once she lived with me, I was like, yeah, I don't like you anymore. I thought if this is what married life is going to be like with you, and it's not going to change, I was like, this sucks. She was sloppy and just no home training and just didn't know how to shop. I gave her money I hope she's listening. I gave her money to go to the grocery store. Imagine if you gave a 7-year-old $200. She bought like Ho-Hos and Twinkies and snack crackers. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're insane. I was making tacos one night. I said, hey, I'm no kidding, no joking here. Hand to God. I said, hey, can you go and start browning the ground beef? She's like, well, I'm going to try, but I don't know how to get it all crumbly. I was like, I had to stop and analyze that she had never browned ground beef before. She said, I don't know how to get it crumbly, but I'll try. I was like, I'm not marrying you. I'd be a fool. But she was beautiful, though. That's the thing. There's no amount of beauty that can make up for dumb. There isn't. And I got blinded by how she looked. So I got to take a break now. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Want to protect our planet? The air we breathe, water we drink, and land we share? Real progress begins with birds. Yes, birds. The very ones we see and hear every day. On a walk, in the park, or simply out the window. That's because birds are more than birds. They're symbols, sentinels that reveal the health of our planet and our people. And by helping them thrive, all of us thrive as well. Audubon is a place where birds matter, where habitats are protected, where communities are engaged, and where change takes flight. Because at Audubon, hope begins with birds. Progress begins with birds. It all begins with birds. Audubon.
You've been diagnosed with COPD, but breathing seems to be getting harder. Everyday activities, walking to the mailbox, going up the stairs, talking on the phone take more effort than they used to. You're short of breath more often. Flare-ups are happening more frequently. And slowly, life starts to feel smaller. Is this you? If your COPD symptoms are getting worse, there may be options that can help you breathe easier and get back to doing more of what matters to you. That could mean walking further, spending more time with family and friends, feeling more confident leaving the house, and getting back to the life you want to live. If your COPD is changing, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor. Visit the COPD Foundation website at isthisyoucopd.org to learn the signs of severe and worsening COPD and the right questions to ask next. Take action today. Breathe better tomorrow.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes. Presented by our friends over at Visit Milwaukee. This is a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, our plates are piled high with flavor, and the lakefront sunrises set the stage for unforgettable days. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring. It's a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared through bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. No, I don't think that all married people are miserable. And it's always the people that have found their person, that are very happy, that always speak up. I also know that women can cheat with no remorse, and they'll never get caught, and they'll take it to their grave. And they cheat with such precision. It's so elegant how they do it. And nothing will change. The routine won't change. There'll be no hints. There'll be no clues. And they will do it with a kind of presence of mind that almost makes me think that it's in their DNA. Where men will cheat just because the option is there. Like sometimes men will fall in love with other women, and sometimes it's that. But it's usually like an office affair, or he got drunk one night, or the bachelor party went too far. Women are calculating. And it begins with her being on that phone late at night. You're sleeping, you wake up, you see the glow of her phone, and she's just talking to another man about you. He doesn't make me happy anymore. He doesn't touch me anymore. It's not the same anymore. It's not. That's where it starts. You're cooked, dude. And then if you say something about that, like, hey, I don't like you, putting our business out there, talking to other people. Why are you being controlling? Why are you trying to control who I talk to? Okay, cool. Then let you start talking to another woman the same way. She'll have a fit and want to kill you, but you can't say to her, why are you being controlling? Because she gets to be and you don't. I just don't want to. Y'all got to keep in mind. Do you see what is happening in our community, in our society, and how messed up everything is? Do you think that, just be realistic for a second, do you think that what we see, what we complain about, what is wrong, what is amiss, what is worse now than it used to be back in the day, do you think that environment produces good partners? It does not, and you know it. Like there's just a whole bunch of perfect angelic men and women just, oh, I wish someone would come and be my bride or my husband. I'm the perfect person. No. I said I wasn't going to talk about relationships, but y'all made me. Let's take a quick call from, hello, Al. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. First of all, I want to say there's a lot of marriageable men and women, but y'all, you're here in Milwaukee. What do you really think you're going to find? You got to step outside your base. And also you got to remember, religious men cheat more than street men 304s, because the religious men will stand at the pulpit and have 7, 8, 9, 10 kids and 5 baby mamas. And they don't get close to Christ until they find out they got bad circuit breakers, or they get overweight, out of touch, and got the kangaroo pouch when you got to dig in to pull it out and you got nothing but urine over your hands. So don't throw the hope away. You're looking in Milwaukee, and there's people out there. You just got to find the ones who find you. Keep on living. Moving on. I heard you bring up about the Republicans. Now, even though Trump went out the way to make men relevant, my question to the Republicans is, what is the benefit of incest. You know, since y'all passing all these laws down in the South, you know, if they have a baby if they get pregnant from incest, you can't abort the baby. So my thing to the Republicans, since y'all about values and morals, why are you looking at the flesh of your kids? Because you know when you sleep with your kids come out looking like pigs and little Ninja Turtles, okay? Y'all should have found that out about Lot's daughters in the Bible when they got their daddy drunk so they could ride him down so they can get his semen in the vessel or their fallopian tubes, okay? See, the problem, I think, with a lot of you Republican men, a lot of you are mediocre, and y'all really didn't have that much experience growing up because a lot of the women you was dealing with was raised to use the devil loophole. So you didn't really know anything about the woman's vagina. So you have all this inner hatred, not only against black men, but against yourself. Because on a lot of these forums, y'all feel like y'all can't please women. But if you up here in the house talking about me first and growing up, you sticking it in her butt and not her vagina, and you trying to pound downtown like it's a semi-truck with no air brakes, you're not going to know how to please the woman. So something went on in your upbringing that your daddy didn't talk to you, or you didn't have the right ones to teach you how to deal with a woman. Maybe that's why some of the Republican states have the most download for transgender porn, because you probably really want that 9-inch secret and that chick with them big old long sticks so y'all running around here. Because when you look at the stuff where they say transgenders using boys' bathroom, the little boys and little girls that's getting raped is by men who have on no breastplate and makeup. They just look like some of y'all. So I think the problem is y'all need to go back to the drawing board, and and the kids you raise today, teach them how to deal with a woman. Okay? Now, if she decides to let him use the double loophole, there are certain things and certain preparations, but some of y'all don't even know how to deal with the woman vagina. That's why that woman is with you. She loves you, but she's not in love with your body. Okay? So that's why Trump went out the way to make your men feel relevant, because some of y'all smell like diaper urine, okay? And that's an open door for a woman to have a UTI and a bad pH balance.
All right, Al.
And so
we've got to wrap it up. I got to take a break.
All right. Well, y'all have yourself a good day.
Okay. All right. Okay, see, didn't I tell y'all earlier when I started talking about relationships that there's unintended consequences and there's fallout from it, and it's Al calling. That's
always enjoy his calls.
I had to take a commercial break. Why are you zooming in on me on my bonnet?
Well, you know, you're making some cool faces, so, you know, wanted the audience to see.
I got to take a break now. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship, because that for them is free.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
You asked, and it's back. The original Cubano fan favorite has returned to Cousin Subs, and if you know, you know. It starts with tender pulled pork, our original recipe, and layers in savory ham, Genoa salami, and melty Swiss, grilled together for that hot, craveable bite. Then topped with fresh onions, tomatoes, pickles, and brown mustard and mayo, all on our signature bread. It's the fan favorite you've been waiting for. The Cubano, back at Cousin Subs, but only for a limited time. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Playing some sad music for all the unhappily married people. Have you all discounted the fact or ignored the fact that there's a whole bunch of women that have just given up on men and given up on dating? And they have done that because the men in which they have involved themselves with have not succumbed to what that woman wants him to be. She may love him because he's popular and he's social, he has a lot going on, but then to be with her, you now have to cater to her needs and her wishes. He can't be what he was. He can no longer be what he was when they met. She doesn't want him hanging out with his friends now, but he was popular and social when they met. And she loved that about him. Now he has to cater to what her fantasies are about how a man is supposed to treat her. His needs and wishes and wants be damned. And y'all got to understand this. In the days of independent women, I'm not taking this away from women. I'm just saying it doesn't work for most men. In the days of the independent woman, she maintains her independence in that relationship, meaning he has to serve her. Very rarely is it mutual, because when a man puts a requirement on a woman, of course, not some of you, because those of you that understand the program are going to be the first ones to disagree. But do you know how many women think that it's oppressive or offensive that a man is telling them what to do, even if it's for the betterment of her, the family, and the relationship? You can't tell her what to do. You can't tell her she can't go on a girls' trip with her friends who are all single. You can't tell her that she can't go to happy hour 4 nights a week with her friends. How dare you? But if you do it, sir, you're clearly up to no good. You have to engage in her very own delusions about relationships, because we're never really honest with women. That's number one. Do you think that some of these women that are raising these boys out here are raising them to be good husbands and fathers? You know that they're not. Number 3, we can't even get all women to vote for a woman candidate. That's how much women fundamentally disagree with one another, but we're supposed to just marry one? Oh, stop it.
You sound like an incel, kind of.
I sound like someone who knows, there's people standing at the damn window looking at me wearing my bonnet. There's 2 Asian guys. Look, they looked at me and they turned. Here's one. I don't want to point to them.
Wave to them.
No. Lisa, you're on 1017 The Truth.
Good morning, Mr. Braggadocious Brown Deer. Hey.
Yeah, she just hung up. Remember when Lisa used to call us and she was happy about getting her leg, and she was going to get her leg, and she was going to come to the market hall, and she was going to come to all of our different events? She ain't got the leg, has she? Because I'm only saying this because she.
Hold on, she doesn't have a leg?
No.
So she would wheel in or crutch in?
Well, no, she was, like, her life was kind of put on hold because she wanted to be, like, walking.
Why did she hang up?
I don't even know if she meant to hang up because she sat on hold for too long to just hang up like that. So she used to call us and talk about getting her leg, and then when she got her leg, she was gonna, do a whole bunch of events. And so that's her putting her leg on. That's when she attaches it. It's like, Sherwin, I can't wait till I get my leg. And she ready to go dancing. She could work. Try not to be rude. She said very rude things to me. In fact, I think she got banned for a little while because she said something very, very offensive.
Yep, she did.
It wasn't on this show, was it?
Nope. I don't ban people. I embrace the controversy. I love the foul language.
The reason why, so when I talk about a man's experience, a woman can talk about her experience with men, and it can be the worst things ever. We agree with her, we coddle her, we sympathize with her. But if a man speaks honestly about his experiences, there's clearly something wrong with you. But if you believe that, and maybe some of you do, if you believe that a lot of boys are being raised by women, you would think that a lot of these boys that are being raised by women, by single moms, would be perfect and ideal husbands and mates. They're quite honestly the opposite. They remain mama's boys, or they don't know how to, they're not domesticated at all. Because men got to be domesticated too, because everybody needs to know how to do certain things around the house. That's the part that, I don't know, that's the quiet part that needs to be said out loud. And women will complain about all of these men. At the same time, they are raising these boys to become men that no women even want. They're not raising their men to be good husbands, to be good fathers. I think they're raising their sons to be their man. We'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold